Okay, it's Tuesday, so time for an episode of Deconstructing the Culture, because we're past the clock and time has no meaning. So, Ariana Grande, she has a new song out called Dangerous Woman. Ariana Grande, we call her the great donut licker of Lake Elsinore because a few months back, if you recall, she went into a coffee shop with donuts and she started licking the donuts and like leaving them on the counter, which is a weird thing to do. She's a weirdo. So Ariana Grande, she has a new music video out called Dangerous Woman. And we will play a little. First of all, every single music video in the top 40 has a girl looking like she's ready to strip. Right? They're all wearing lingerie. Like, when's the last time you saw a music video in the top 40 that wasn't a woman wearing lingerie? It's been a long time. Right? Second of all, one of the problems I have with Ariana Grande as a personality is that, and this is not meant offensively to Ariana Grande, objectively speaking, Ariana Grande looks like she's about 14 years old. I mean, she looks very, very young. I know she's 23, but she looks like she's about 14 years old. And her typical audience is about 14, 15 years old. And that's, yeah, this kind of stuff tailored for men is kind of distasteful. Her music video, for people who can't see, is her just writhing around on a bed, basically. I mean, it's just her writhing around on a bed in various states of undress and singing about how she wants to have sex. That's the entire song. And there's a line in here that really does trouble me. Later, she says, all girls want to be like that. Bad girls underneath like that. You know how I'm feeling inside. Something about. All girls want to be like that. Bad girls underneath like that. You know how I'm feeling inside. Something about. Okay, so first of all, bad grammar. But second of all, when she says all girls want to be like that all girls are bad girls underneath, this puts forward a negative image to men. It does. It's saying to young men that all girls in the end want to be risky with regard to their sex lives. Right? That's what she's saying. She's saying all girls want to be dangerous, all girls want to be risky with their sex lives, and then people on the feminist left who defend this as some sort of feminist iconic feminist image, right? First of all, if women acted like this every day in real life, men would have no problem with radical feminism. If this is what radical feminism always looked like, I have a feeling that all of the radical men's rights guys would be very, very happy. Okay, but beyond that, this portrayal of women as sort of deeply sexualized all the time, all they really want is to be dangerous underneath, and saying openly that all girls want to be like that, it encourages men to treat women as though they are prepared to be risky in their sex lives. And that's no excuse for men to be terrible. But if you put out into the ether these vague images of all women want to be risky in their sex lives, that doesn't have a good impact. Okay, it doesn't mean it's justified. It just means that things have impact. If I say that all women are promiscuous, that's going to have an impact on how men act toward women. Which is why I don't say all, because women aren't promiscuous. Some women are, some women aren't. But this kind of notion that all women are risk takers is a trope that really is not something that's good to put out to young men. It's amazing. The same people who will decry the rape culture on college campuses will put stuff out like this and say that it's not bad for women in any way. Okay, really? It's not bad for women in any way? You complain about objectification of women, and then these are the women that you prop up as your feminist heroes? People like Ariana Grande and Beyonce Knowles? Really? Okay, that's one message here I want to talk about. The second is the notion of romance. So romance now, there's no such thing as romance anymore. Romance is just sex. That's all it is. It's just sex in these music videos. I want to play for you an actually romantic song back from a time when people actually cared about romance, cared about love, cared about emotion in relationships, and not just the feeling of skin to skin. Because honestly, it's just a mechanical act if there's no emotional connection. You know, there's this notion that sex is transgressive and taboo. It is, of course, depending on the circumstance, but that's not the essence of a normal, healthy sex life. If all you're looking for in your sex life, if all you're looking for in intimacy is violation of taboo, you're going to end up in some pretty dark places pretty quickly, which is how we end up with the 50 Shades of Grey culture. True romance requires there to actually be simpatico between the participants in the sex. Okay, here's another song invoking skin. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. Is Under My Skin, with this classic Frank Sinatra 1956 Nelson Riddle arrangement. This is my song from my wife. We have a couple of different songs. This one, I think I played for you John Denver's You Fill Up My Senses before. But this is a classic of swing genre. So there's still something transgressive about this song, right? This song is written by Cole Porter. The lyrics are by Cole Porter. The transgressive part is he goes on, he says, I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of a warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear, don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Come on, now, use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin because I've got you under my skin. The idea here is not, God, your boobs. Right? That's not the idea, oh, what a nice butt you've got. Right? I mean, it's not skin to skin, we can feel each other. Right? That's not the idea here. The idea here is that there is a spiritual drive. There's an emotional drive between man and woman, and sex is the natural culmination of that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that every relationship is a good idea, but without that drive, without the emotional connection, without the spiritual connection between man and woman, everything just degrades to the level of a woman making love to a camera sitting on a bed wearing lingerie. It just turns into softcore pornography. That's all it does. The difference between romance and softcore pornography is the emotional connection and the spiritual connection between two people that leads to the act of sex. When you strip all of the emotion away, and when you say that true liberation lies in treating sex just like any other bodily function, you end up with sort of the degraded stupidity of an Ariana Grande video as opposed to the sexy romance of Frank Sinatra's music. Okay, it's Tuesday, so time for an episode of Deconstructing the Culture, because we're past the clock and time. I want to talk a little bit about media malfeasance. This is an amazing story. So CNN reported this apparent bombshell, and they got it totally wrong. I'll explain all of it to you in just a second, but first, I want to say thank you to our sponsor over at Man Crates. So this is one of my favorite sponsors, mancrates.com. It is the best gift that you can get for any man in your family. It's great for dads, it's great for sons, it's great for husbands. It's great for any man in your family who really is into anything from whiskey appreciation to grill master to sports stuff. Here's what it is. It's a special, basically, gift package that comes in either an ammo crate or in an actual wooden crate with an engraved pry thing with an engraved crowbar. God, I'm out of it today. With an engraved crowbar, and you can actually pry open the crate yourself. It's super ennobling. It makes you feel like a man. It feels like you're King Arthur pulling the sword out of the stone, but instead you're actually pulling a crate of whiskey out, which is pretty amazing. They cover over 100 hand-curated gift collections for every type of guy, from the rugged outdoorsman to the sports fanatic, everything in between. As I said last time, I got an entire set of poker chips from Man Crates. I immediately gave them to one of my friends who will actually use it, because I think I will only end up playing poker at his house. But it makes a fantastic gift, and it's hilarious, it's fun, it's something that your loved one will get a kick out of. It's great for Christmas or Hanukkah. Or any other special event. They have thousands of five-star reviews. Every Man Crate comes with a high five guarantee. Own the holidays. Go mancrates.com/Ben to get 5% off your order. 5% off your order when you go to mancrates.com/Ben. That's mancrates.com/Ben. 5% off your order. And again, I get such a kick out of these. I really do get a kick out of these gifts. They're really fun. Go over to mancrates.com right now. Check it out. It'll solve all of your gift-giving needs. Okay, so here is the story from CNN. And this just shows you, you want to know why so many people are skeptical of the media, even on things like Roy Moore. You cannot count out the fact that the media are willing to jump over any barrier in order to get Republicans. They really are. And so when you ask, when the left looks at us and they say on the right, how could you possibly not just credit the media with great reporting when they report something? It's because within 3 hours, half of this stuff gets discredited. Half is a little much, but a certain percentage of the stuff gets discredited. So, for example, there was a report from CNN, and the report from CNN said that on September 4th, there was an email that was sent to the Trump administration, to Donald J. Trump, to Donald Trump Jr., to other members of the administration, and that this email had a key code, a decryption key for WikiLeaks that had not yet been released publicly. That's a big scandal. If it turns out, then that's one step removed from actual collusion, right? If it turns out that the WikiLeaks people, at the behest of the Russian government, sent a decryption key to the Trump administration, the Trump campaign, and that the Trump campaign used it in order to go in and spy on Hillary Clinton's emails before those things were released publicly, that would look a lot like collusion, would it not? It turns out every element of the story is bullcrap. Every single one. So first of all, the email was not sent on September 4th, before the WikiLeaks were leaked. It was sent on September 14th, after they were already public information. You didn't need a decryption key for public information. Number two, there's no evidence that Donald Trump Jr. or Donald Trump ever saw this email. Number three, there's no evidence that the email itself is legit, that it didn't just come from some spammer. So the way that this originally was run, the way the original headline was run, was something like, I want to find, if I can, the actual headline. CNN report, Trump and Trump Jr. got September 2016 email with decryption key. Right, here's what David Wright from CNN tweeted. He tweeted, Candidate Donald Trump Jr., and others in the Trump org received email in September 2016 offering a decryption key and website address for hacked WikiLeaks documents, according to email provided to congressional investigators. Right? Bombshell. Before any of this was public, they were being offered a special in by WikiLeaks, aka the Russian government. Except again, it turns out it may not have come from the Russian government. There's no evidence Trump looked at it, and the email came 10 days after the initial CNN report said, which means that the email came out after all the information was public. I mean, this is a Brian Ross level screw up. It is a massive, massive screw up. Somebody needs to get suspended for it at the very least, because to misreport in that dramatic a fashion does a disservice to the Trump administration. Then you wonder why Trump runs around shouting fake news. You wonder why Republicans distrust reporting from places like the Washington Post. You wonder why Republicans have now come to the conclusion that nothing can be trusted. Part of it is because they're taking the message too far, but part of it is because there is a grain of truth, which is that a lot of the media are willing to jump on stories that have not been vetted and are not true in order to promulgate a particular narrative. And this is just the best example of that. Democrats are doing this too.